you're not doing anything important. You've been activated.
No problemo.
Watch Dogs Legion is one of those games that are released and then kind of forgotten about entirely because it just doesn't really work. I made a video on it about a year ago and criticized that the game performs worse than Charles Darwin after you got bit by a strange bug. This game is bitten by several of those bugs, but I won't get into them. I want to talk today about the DLC Bloodline. I purchased it recently after replaying all of the WatchDogs games. I had no idea what to expect other than from this one screenshot that I saw on the store page. Oh god, are there seriously gonna be T1000 bots in the game? I will get to that later, trust me. Let's do this systematically. First and foremost, set a while before the events of Legion's main story, with the Resistance and all, Aiden goes to fulfill a contract by his girl pal Jordy. Catch being, he must go to London, because why not? He agreed probably only because his nephew Jackson Pierce, well, he lives in London too, who voluntarily goes to live in London really. Aiden's instinctual anxiety kicks in, so he goes to kind of check in on him by breaking into his window, but not before the job is done. After an arguably awesome briefing sequence, we arrive at Broker Tech to acquire two things. First, photographic evidence of a new robot design, as well as a crucial component to the development of this robot design, the Broker Bridge. However, foiled again by pure coincidence, the boy is here, Reg, or if you prefer his actual name, Reggie, to steal the bridge for some reason. Struggle ensues, Aiden gets captured but soon is freed by Wrench, probably out of guilt or something. Anyhow, they become rival of sorts, but the central antagonist is Thomas Rampart, an angry Frenchman, much like the average Ubisoft higher-up to any female employee who didn't bring him his wine and sloppy talk. Anyways, you meet up with Jackson, who mistakes you for the common Londoner cracker from the street begging for a ciggy, before, oh shit, it's Aiden, and he passes the fuck out. After that, it turns out there is a bit of an issue with Rampart and Aiden, because you see, when they were captured he was given an ultimatum. Either he tracks down the Broker Bridge and takes it back to the Frenchie, or Aiden's son gets removed. So, Jackson and Aiden work together to find the wrench. Then, after some missions given out by smelly guys up the street, you kinda get a lead on where a wrench might be. Aiden figures out where the hideout is and grabs the bridge after asking nicely and in a cordial manner. Then goes to meet Rampart in person to present the bridge together with his son Jackson. But oh god, it's a booby trap. Reggie, you little rat bastard. It explodes, and much like my sticky placements in Team Fortress 2, only deal 50 damage to the face. After running away together in a cool sequence, and Wrench showing some cooperation to acquire a getaway car, before Jackson and Aiden could make it to the car, Aiden got shot and went down to a 1 HP, which means he entered a coma. Taken to the safe house of Reggie, he provided medical aid and oh hello Skylardes. She apparently has a way to wake up Aiden, which involves going into his mind by using the Broker Bridge. Playing this the first time I thought, fine, why not? It doesn't sound like a big a deal. But then going back, I was thinking, wait a minute. Sky Larson has literally turned her own mother into an AI against her will. Why do you bet that she has some hidden features of the bridge? While Jackson gets secondhand PTSD exploring his uncle's mind, what if Sky made a copy of Aiden's brain? Oh, whatever, fine, I guess she's good or something and for some reason wanted to help, I don't care. Anyways, in Aiden's mind, Jackson helped his uncle prepare for a funeral. For Aiden. He was ready to bury himself away. he's ready to die. But Jackson managed to talk him out of the state of mind, reminding him that living is more important than dying. His past is riddled with pain. Pain that he caused, perhaps. But the future for him can change. In the end, the both of them walked away. The only thing in the end that got buried was the homage, the fox. While Aiden was done, Reggie wasn't. In the final mission, he infiltrates Rampart's barge as he fled London. After mobilizing the ship, he entered the hold to confront Thomas himself, and oh no, the Frenchie figured out how to use the sex pod without the bridge. Okay, fine, whatever. I'll destroy it, I guess. After that was done and Rampart was dealt with, his plans foiled forever by the very same person who enabled Rampart. He was handed over to Alvin. Fine. And that's where the game ends. Reggie hangs out in London for a while Aiden does stuff, I don't know. The story's interesting, the interactions between the characters is funny, I give it an 8 out of 10. Now, is the game fun? Once you start the first mission, you realize that the gameplay is radically different. No more of that crap recruitment bullshit, so you don't have to worry about having to go on a wild goose chase because some Albion schmuck got cuckolded by a DedSec member. Another prefix is that, from what I can discern, choosing between a lethal and non-lethal weapon makes no difference at all. Everyone dies the same. Gun goes pew, they go down. Aiden starts out with some preset items and abilities. First, he uses his iconic baton, with some unique execution animations, of which I love the choreography. Later unlocked, his sidearm, which looks like the M8-M revolver from the first game, and this is where it gets interesting. There are, as far as I know, no suppressed weapons at all in Bloodline, which would kind of make sense when you consider that the following abilities are purely suited for a full-on assault. First, a fun feature that I like is that when you reload as Aiden, when you time it right, you gain a damage boost for a short time. And lastly, when you take someone down with a gun and hold the aim button, time slows down like the focus mechanic of the first game. He even has a special ability that causes a blackout, making guards go haywire, distracting all enemies, disabling all systems. Playing Aiden is a nostalgia trip. Except that he kinda has a beard, which I don't dig at all, but fine, whatever, a lot of time has passed, so it's plausible. Rich, meanwhile, has the gift of having a massive arsenal that uses hacking in order to incapacitate hostiles. Also, he uses a heavily modified cargo drone to move around. This is something that the regular game could really have used, some kind of advanced drone operator. He uses something like Wrench's drone. His drone is not only extremely fast, it comes armed with a grenade launcher, and it has a lovely throwback WatchDogs 2 design. I honestly prefer that over what we have in Legion with red skulls, the glitchy design, and just so much red and blue and so much black. I prefer the purple, green, white, garish colors of Dead San Francisco from the second game. It just evokes such a greater presence, you know, like just fits how much of an irregular force they are. They're chaos! Anyways, massive arsenal, hacking, smashing, you get the idea. Shared by both of them is a neat little device that I like. A spider-bot drone combo. It can't do takedowns from what I've seen, but it still does the job well. Now the meat and potatoes is perks. If you want to unlock the ability to hack chase drones or obtain a new weapon, you must help the previously mentioned smelly people. You even get to meet Angel Lopez before he gets brutally murdered. It feels odd to take missions from a soon-to-be dead man, but anyways. These missions reward you with items and perks, instead of having to go literally everywhere for some research points. I personally think that Watch Dogs 2 did it best. It felt rewarding to find them, but this unlock per mission is also pretty neat. I give it a B+. The only issue I have with the gameplay is the fact you can still play as Aiden after you said he's done with the fixer work, but fine. What is less excusable is the...
Makes my soul trip away.
Now, let us take a step backwards. This is still a Ubisoft game, development directed by Clint Hawking, who has recruited devs who worked on Far Cry 1 and 2, games from nearly 2 decades ago. Watch Dogs Legion was revealed in E3 2019, so they must have worked at least 3 years on this game. I don't know, I'm not a game dev. I see a broken game. It seems that they have failed to realize that not everyone was a good system, with most guys out here running a GTX 1060 or 1660 or whatever have you low to mid-tier graphics card. Or if they're lucky enough to have a higher budget like me, a 1080. And even then, performance fucking sucks. Seriously, could you not have optimized the game to fucking run on slightly older hardware? I have to restart the game every 40-ish minutes because the game begins to lag out, it really begins to stutter. Like, try to drive like this, it's fucking mess. Finish game, everyone. I paid like $50 for a pizza, and I only got half of it. And when you ask, you only get the answer, other house coming down the line, LMAO. This is not acceptable. Raise your standards, people. You deserve better than this fucking garbage. But what is even more troubling is the future. It is plastered all over the game, all over the city. No future. This is how I kind of feel about the franchise. After Watch Dogs 2, they really had to think on what to do to shake up the formula, and they tried, more or less successfully. The third installment became a mediocre game. A 7 out of 10 stars. It was okay. It's fine. Sucks donkey cock. A new future game that involves uploading someone's brain into a machine, hologram technology everywhere, electric cars everywhere, self-driving cars that actually work, kind of. Drones that can acquire targets and eliminate them on their own accord. Transparent displays on basically any computer. 6G? Which just sounds stupid. Yeah, this game doesn't feel like Watch Dogs, it feels like Resistance Technology Fighters DX! So what am I getting at? Well, what will be next? Watch Dogs 4.0! Set in the year 2100 in South Africa, where we play as Jackson Pierce's great-grandnephew, whose uncle died in a car crash from a hit, and he was to avenge his father with vengeance. Yeah, this is the shit we have to contend with. How would you continue Watch Dogs? Can you even continue? Should they? No. There's something very much wrong with the franchise now, because going further and further into the future is making the story less relatable. Way more out of touch. Watch Dogs 1 had a greater relatability of the dangers of modernization. The second, we could relate with a society that had this technology that controls everything. Criminals running the streets as if they own the world. Take 1 second to look outside and tell me this is not where we live right now. Legion. What's there really to relate to? Terrorist attacks are bad, and being blamed for something you didn't do is mean. Yeah, That is true. Austria had a terrorist attack a while ago, and I always got blamed for stuff I didn't do. But all the crap about a PMC ruling the country, being backstabbed by the very leader of a resistance group, who can relate to this? Nobody with a boring ass life. So what is next then, pray tell me? Do we stray further into the future, where we can relate to less and less? I have a better solution. Aiden already dug the grave, but not all of him was buried in this moment. Aiden already dug the grave, but not all of him was buried in this moment. Yes, his former self is gone. Gone are his days as a merc, a hired gun. But he is not yet dead. He is forced to walk upon this earth, a corpse, an idol to be kept alive. The universe was born with two forces, life and death. They cancel each other out. But life is in abundance. There is too much life on this earth. Only when you volunteer to die, you can restore the order to the universe. So please, Ubisoft, I know you will never listen to a shitbag like me, but please, kill WatchDogs. Let it die. Let it die. Also, if you bought any of the operators or mask bundles or whatever for single player or whatever, you're a complete moron or have too much money, so hand it over!